Roman Reigns does not have a full-time schedule anymore. CM Punk does not have a full-time schedule. Brock Lesnar does not. So if they schedule this the correct way, over the course of a year, they can always have one of those guys in play. And that to me is a great move.
What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of Writing with Russo. It is the evening as we're taping this, and it doesn't matter. I still got my coffee, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I've cut down on coffee a lot, but I was like you, Chris. I used to drink it all day. I think people saying coffee keeps you well, I think that's a total myth.
It does. So here's the thing about coffee. You know, I'm about the psychology nerd on you. So the contents in coffee, it actually it blocks what's called your adenosine glands. Your adenosine glands is basically like a human, like it's like a clock in your brain. It tells your body to shut down. That's a function of your adenosine glands. So what coffee does is it blocks that. So it tells basically it's causing your body to like stay up a little longer and not react to your body telling itself that it's time to go to sleep. So basically it prolongs, that's the reason why it's best to drink coffee in the morning to basically, block those adenosine glands that keep you up during the day. If you do, a lot of people can't handle the caffeine, and so they'll drink it in the evening and they'll be up all night. But I'm a doctor, so I literally had 2-3 hours of sleep studying, writing my dissertation, doing, doctoral projects. So I'm used to drinking coffee all night, getting my PhD. Yeah. So I'm used to it now. And plus I'll pull in 16-hour days being a therapist, podcaster, and college professor. So drinking coffee to me keeps me up, so it actually works for me, like drinking coffee now. So there's psychological and cognitive, facts to that. But I'm still a coffee drinker, man, through and through. So So how are you, my man?
I am doing all right, my friend. I'm doing okay.
Awesome, man. So the order of business today is talking about somebody by the name of Brock Lesnar. So we were commissioned to talk about this as per Corkin Hall. So aka Dave Meltzer, for those who this is their first time watching this show. Vince has a Corkin Hall soundbite, so now that's a response to him. That's just a regular response. Corkin Hall.
Now I gotta go ahead. I'll find
it. You gotta find the Corkin Hall.
Go ahead. I will. I'll find it.
Very nice. So Dave Meltzer reported that Brock Lesnar is back anytime soon. To me, this is not a surprise. It's WrestleMania, so getting a WrestleMania payday just makes perfect sense. What do you think about this news, Vince?
Bro, you know what they've done that is a positive?
What's that?
They have now created a situation where there are 3 big names that they can rotate in and out. Roman Reigns does not have a full-time schedule anymore. CM Punk does not have a full-time schedule. Brock Lesnar does not. So if they schedule this the correct way, over the course of a year, they can always have one of those guys in play. And that to me is a great move because, literally, it was always like just Brock, or then it was just Roman. But now if they rotate these 3 guys and keep them fresh, I don't think that's a horrible strategy.
I hear that. The pushback to have with that is that who are they building to use that rotation of legends, so to speak, right? So when you have those legendary names, the hope is Flair, Sting, San Martino, Zabisco, like just kind of paying it forward. Michaels, Austin, in a sense, just kind of paying it forward and giving that person the baton. But who and not just continue to use them for the sake of putting people over. They leave, they come back, putting people over. That's just a really bad way of using the talent. So how would Brock be used in this rotation coming back after putting Cody over? I mean, that was the last time we saw Brock, he put Cody over, just like I said.
Bro, I don't think they're looking to use them in that way anymore. I really don't, because here's what we're really talking about, Chris. We're talking about people coming up from NXT.
Yeah.
Who is Brock Lesnar going to put up? Bronson Reed? Like, who is he going to put over? He ain't going to put anybody over, bro, coming up from NXT. Yeah. So I don't think that's the game plan. I really don't. I think the game plan is for them to just make sure they have one of those three mega stars active on the roster. They're not going to put over NXT people, bro.
But they'll probably put over somebody else on the main roster. What I think they're going to do, Vince, I think they're going to put over Gunther. I think that, like I put this scenario before. I think Gunther's going to beat Bronson Reed in Perth because it makes sense. Bronson Reed is Aussie, elimination champions in Australia. I think that Gunther's going to beat Bronson Reed. He's going to cut something like a promo. There's nobody in the back that's good enough to beat me. I'm the best Intercontinental Champion of all time. No one in the back. I'm more dominant than everybody. All of a sudden, Brock Lesnar's music comes. That causes the pop. Face off. Brock, Gunther. Brock will probably do an F5 on Gunther, cause the place to go bananas, and so that sets up Brock and Gunther at Mania. And I don't see Brock winning the Intercontinental Championship, but I do see Gunther putting over Brock. I mean, I do see Brock putting over Gunther.
Okay, let me ask you something from a psychological point of view.
Yep.
Are we to the point with Brock, bro, where if we do that, is that really Gunther? Are people really going to view that as Gunther being over? Or are they just going to view that as, man, Brock's starting to lose a lot. Brock's getting old. Like, seriously, does that really work the way they want it to work at this point?
I don't think it does, but I do think in their logic it does. I think what they want. I mean, they did it with Goldberg. I mean, they did it, on and on and on with different talent, that came back and made appearances. I think what they'll do. I mean, they did it with Kane a bunch of times too. And so what I think they'll do is their logic is they'll bring back a legend. They'll put him over. Same thing they did with Trish. That's their formula. Bring back the legend, put over somebody, they leave, bring them back. Same thing with Lita. You know what I mean? So they keep doing that.
Well, yeah, and look what we're talking about, Chris. Did Becky beating,
no.
did that do anything?
No, they didn't. What did Drew beating Goldberg put him over more? No, it didn't. So that's my critique. It's like I just don't see how a legend coming back, putting someone over is really going to help. I mean, to be honest with you, did Omos get a rub by losing? You can get a rub by losing. I mean, look at Taker's streak. I mean, you can get a rub by losing a match. Did Omos get a rub by losing to Brock last year? No, absolutely not. So you don't even utilize the fact that someone lost to get a rub. You don't even use that as momentum. And so that's my critique even more of bringing these legends back. I think in their logic, they think that there's no one like bigger as far as like a machine, which is true. I mean, like Brock's a legit machine. I think he is an anomaly when it comes to, yes, if he does put someone over, everyone knows that Brock can legit destroy the entire locker room. So if he does lose, I think the logic and psychologically is, okay, Brock can beat anybody in the locker room. So if he does put someone over, it must be a rub, from Brock's standpoint of like, I really want to work with this guy. So I can respect that. And if he does put Gunther over, I think it makes sense because if there's someone who can go toe to toe with him, at least, from a physical standpoint, it would be Gunther. So I'm cool with Gunther going over Brock for WrestleMania. But the problem is, like I said before, who's the heir apparent to have this amazing Intercontinental Championship streak from Gunther? And what are you going to lose to Xavier or lose to Tozawa? Like, why build all this up just to put all this over to someone who's 50-50? That's my issue.
There's no way to go with it.
I agreed. Yeah.
There's absolutely no way to go with it because they're just running people through the system.
I agree, man. Yeah. If say for instance, if Gunther does put over, if Brock does put over Gunther at WrestleMania, is there anyone on the main roster right now who like legitimately could be the next Intercontinental Champion and they can use all of 500 plus days of his reign and beating Drew and beating Sheamus, and beating Bronson and beating Braun Strowman and beating Goldberg throughout this, tenure of his, this reign of his? Who's going to be the one who beats Gunther?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there anybody? Do you do one of those Bronson, Reed comes up and, he does an open, probably Gunther does an open challenge, the Raw after Mania that causes someone like a Bronson Reed to come up and beat him? Do you think that that's a legit?
No, bro, because if that is the plan, then you are building Bronson Reed now and they're not doing that at all.
Yeah, I think he's teaming up with Corgan in a tag team, Dusty tag team tournament, I think.
Corgan?
Yeah. Corbin.
Oh, Corbin.
Baron Corbin. Yeah. He's teaming up with
that's Corgan. Another guy, just a wasted talent, man. I do remember watching him at NXT with that gimmick with the long hair and everything, and I watched him and I'm like, bro, this guy's all the promise in the world. Look at the trajectory, bro.
Yeah. So I guess my thing is the best thing you got for him, for Gunther. My guess would be Bronson. Would be Braun Breaker. I mean, I guess that's the best because it's always, there's always that element of we don't really know who this person is. So if you're already booking Bronson or Braun Breaker to have that type of push already from the gate, he hasn't been tarnished on the main roster. So if you have him be the one that beat Gunther, you can work with that. But the problem is, I say this all the time, Vince, if it's not tied to a storyline. Now, if Braun beats Gunther in an open challenge, you got the element of surprise. I've never seen Braun Breaker. I've never went against them. That's a way of really helping him be someone untarnished on the main roster. But then what happens? I mean, you have Braun Breaker go through just a Rolodex full of just.
Yeah, bro, names. I just can't believe at this point in time, they see more value in Braun Breaker than Gunther. I mean, that would shock me if they're looking at it that way, because first of all, bro, he's not a big guy. Yeah, bro, he's got the bloodlines of the Steiners, but the great things of about the Steiners were they had the it factor and they both had very different personalities. Yeah. Bro, it's this past week. Who was Drew McIntyre standing toe to toe with at the beginning of the show last week?
It was Cody.
Yeah, and it was this and this.
Yeah.
And you saw, bro, you stand him next to Gunther in the ring. It's the same exact thing. And
Brock and Gunther.
Yeah. No. Gunther and Braun Breaker.
And Braun, yeah.
I mean, it's the same. He's not a big dude, bro. I'd be shocked if they saw more value in Braun Breaker than Gunther. I'd be shocked.
I don't think it's necessarily a value thing. I think that they're trying to clear the way to elevate Gunther. I think that's the way to do it, because I wouldn't be upset with Gunther Seth at SummerSlam and Gunther winning the world championship. I wouldn't be upset with that at all. I'd be totally fine with that, actually. And Gunther, keeping the belt from SummerSlam this year to WrestleMania, whoever wins the Rumble, I'd be totally fine with that. I think it's time. I mean, the guy what else does Gunther have in that mid-card division, as far as being Intercontinental Champion? I just don't see anything else.
Yeah.
Gunther has been there's been only probably Gunther, as far as I know. Roman, he hasn't lost the title in over 3 years and has been pinned like twice in 3.5 years or something like that. But other than Roman Reigns being protected, there's nobody else that's been protected like Gunther's been protected. Outside of, Imperium losing 6-man matches or whatever. But
bro, there's another road for them to go down to get Gunther over, bro.
What's that?
R-Truth joins Imperium, bro.
Let's do it.
Bro, somebody pointed out today, somebody said today, isn't the R-Truth Judgment Day the exact same story as Sami Zayn and Bloodline? And it is. It's the exact same story, bro.
Yeah.
Like I got to be honest with you. As a writer, I think that sucks because what was that Sami Zayn story a year ago?
Oof, it was. It was.
You got to give it more time than that before you give it to somebody else. Because when I saw that, I'm like, you're right, bro. It's the same exact story.
I don't think they plan on doing anything. I don't think there's a payoff with Truth, though. I just think that they're just bringing a shot in the arm for the Judgment Day because it's been flat for so long. I think there should be a payoff, which is Awesome Truth winning the tag titles at WrestleMania, but I don't think they have thought that far, though.
What was the payoff with Sami?
They won the tag titles at WrestleMania. That was, and they main evented WrestleMania that year too. That was the payoff for them. He main evented Elimination Chamber in Quebec, in his hometown. So there were a couple moments for Sami. It didn't last though, because as soon as they won the titles, it's kind of like, the journey's better than the destination, a lot of times, specifically when it comes to this, when it comes to Sami Zayn, the journey was definitely better than the destination, because as soon as he reached that zenith, that pinnacle, it didn't stay static. It just it dipped really quick. So, and now he's gone, taking some time off. But
it's hysterical, bro. Let's face it, bro. He's taking time off because it did go this way. If Sami Zayn was hot right now, he would not. But you see, bro, that is so sad, because that's creative dropping the ball.
Oh yeah.
And their answer to it is, okay, let them sit home for the next 3 months.
Exactly.
It's not supposed to be that way, bro. That's not the design, man.
And then they'll try to, bring a little bit of life in him by having him come back to the Royal Rumble and get a pop, a return pop and stuff like that. But then after that, what is that? Where does that go? Where do you think Sami goes for WrestleMania? You think that's a big fall from grace? Main eventing WrestleMania, 1 year, and then turning around the next year, and
you don't want to see Zayn McDonough?
That might be a main event caliber match. And even the year before that, though, he had a pretty marquee match against Johnny Knoxville. So it's always good to have that payoff. I know a lot of people thought it was, too gimmicky, and I get the critiques with that. But at the same time, if they're trying to cross promote and you're being selected as the person to help with that cross promotion, a lot of people don't understand from a business standpoint. Someone would absolutely love to take that position, even if they have to lose the match. Out of all the WrestleMania matches, this one that I'm in is featured, and it's a singles match. Absolutely,
absolutely, I agree with that.
Yeah. So 2 straight years of big marquee matches. this year, I highly doubt that Sami Zayn is going to be booked in some big match, you know. So unfortunately, they had a ton of opportunity to make Sami Zayn, you know, a big talent. But
bro, you know darn well, Chris, and it's probably within the next year. It's going to be Zayn against Owens again. You know it is.
Yeah.
You know it is, bro. You know it is.
I am so tired of that going to that well, man.
Yep, it is
I
guarantee you, bro. I guarantee you.
They've done that over and over and over. And I mean, as many times as you can peel the banana, like it doesn't seem like they have another peel left, and they
got one left. They got one left, bro. I promise you, they're gonna go to the well, man.
Oh man, I don't want to see it, but I don't doubt.
All they're gonna do is what did they do last time? Sami was the baby face.
Last time Owens was the baby. They went against each other. Oof. Oh, because it has kind of been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, whoever was the baby and whoever was the heel, they're just going to switch.
They're just going to switch it up.
That's all they're going to do, bro.
Because it started with Owens turning on Sami in NXT. That was the start, and then they had I think Owens was the baby in one time because and then Sami turned and it helped Owens with Shane because Sami was the baby again. Because Owens was feuding with Shane McMahon. Yeah. Right. And then Sami came out of the ring and pulled Owens when Shane did the dive off the cage. And so I guess now it could be Owens the baby and Sami the heel.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, they might have done that already. I'm sure that there's been so many incarnations that I'm forgetting some, but that's unfortunate, man. I care zero to see that again.
Well, we got Sami and Owens against DUI. That could be something.
As heels,
who would be DUI as the heels? Maybe, I don't know.
Oof.
I don't know, bro. That's why I said, to me, man, like there just comes a point when these wrestlers run. If you have nothing creative, bro. There comes a point where they run their course. Yeah. And when they run their course, it's literally time, sit them home for a year, 2 years, something. But like to me, there are a lot of people on the WWE roster right now that have just run their course.
Yeah. I mean
Sheamus, bro, and these guys have been around for over 10 years, man.
Yeah. As much as I'm a New Day fan, man, I'm gonna have to say the New Day as well.
Yeah, man. There's too many people falling in that category. Look what they did with Dolph. I mean, he was in that same boat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was a good little hand, man. Yeah. And even the good little hand who they called for a opener and the main event match, you know, whenever he still got let go because he was just there. So.
Yep.
This guy right here is Vince Russo. I'm Dr. Chris. This is Riding with Russo. Have a good night, everybody. Solo.